Hey everybody, it's Jack with Future Pastimes, and it is time for the Cosmic Encounter Alien of the Month for October 2024. And we're going with another spooky alien again this year. It's an alien that was previously introduced to Cosmic Encounter in the Mayfair edition, and then did finally show up in Cosmic Odyssey, the 7th expansion for Cosmic Encounter, with a slight tweak. And that alien is Phantom. And I really love the sort of tongue-in-cheek Phantom of the Opera approach to the alien art. I think it's a good touch. So let's take a look at what Phantom does and why it is the alien of the month. So it has some game setup text. You have to put one ship from each of your planets on the sheet. So any alien with game setup text is an alien that can't be brought into a game in progress. But normally I try to steer away from that, with some sort of if at any point, blah, blah, blah. But I figured let's just stick with the game setup. So we'll get into it. You have the power to materialize. As a main player, after cards are revealed, use this power to add 2 to your encounter total for each of your ships on this sheet. Your ships in this encounter do not add to your encounter total, but do count for compensation and rewards normally. When your ships would return to colonies, you may place 1 or more of them on this sheet instead. When you would move ships from your colonies or choose ships for other effects, you may choose ships from this sheet. And if the sheet is lost or turned face down, ships are not returned to your colonies. So let's first take a look at what the original Mayfair one did. It did start with 1 ship from each planet on the sheet, but it added 1 to the encounter for each ship on the sheet. But the ships in the encounter added as well. So why the change? Well, I found that in most games with the original Phantom, you were not often adding 4 ships to the encounter as a main player. After the first couple of turns, if you were the defense, you might have 4 on a targeted planet, but then as the game progresses, your home planets get lower and lower, and you're not often bringing in 4 ships. It just doesn't happen that much. It's usually 2 or 1, maybe 3, if you're feeling extra frisky. On a rare occasion, you would go with 4 ships. So you were only really adding on average about 2 from your ships on the encounter. And then in terms of ships on your sheet, well, while you started with 5, and you can certainly bring more on there, you weren't going to get past a certain threshold. You rarely were you going to get 10 or more of your ships on there. So you really weren't adding that much. And as a result, Phantom was nobody's idea of a great alien. It was not an alien that people have been clamoring to see added to the Fantasy Flight Edition. They were like, yeah, that was an okay alien, sure. So it just didn't have enough of a spark. Now, I felt that changing it to adding 2 for each of your ships was a good start because right off the bat, you're adding plus 10 on the first encounter. But then maybe that was a little bit too hot. So I felt that the good balance of that was that your ships in the encounter don't add at all. They're just there for compensation rewards or for establishing a colony if they're on the offense. Because you were getting enough impact from just bringing ships onto your sheet. So on that first encounter, let's say that you bring 3 ships as the offense, you got that plus 10. You got 10 plus whatever your encounter card is. That's a pretty good advantage. It's much better than what human is bringing to the table. And then if you win, maybe you land 2 of those ships, and then 1 or 2 of them you're going to put on the sheet. So now you're adding 2 or 4 more. So plus 14 on the next encounter. Or if you went in with 4 ships and you left 1 behind, so you're adding 6 more, you're at plus 16. Before long, you're adding 20 with just those 10 ships. So if you get up to 10, that's a 20. And that's a pretty hard margin to beat for most other aliens in the game. And so if you need it, great. You bring 1 of those ships, maybe 2 of them off of the sheet when you need to add them to an encounter, and then maybe 1 of them comes back so that it's able to continue giving you that extra plus 2. So, I think Phantom is actually a very good alien. I saw it in action a few months back, and the player was like down to one ship on each of their home planets and one or two ships out there, but the rest of them were on the sheet. And yeah, it was really hard to beat. That player was crushing it very effectively. So I think Phantom is a great addition to the Fantasy Flight catalog of aliens. I'm very glad to see it. Again, I love the artwork. I think it's fun. And I think, they changed the history. So this is, I think Frank Brooks is doing here, trying to tie it more to what is in the art, because this, alas, poor spheric is, that's not from the Mayfair edition. So let me know in the comments, what do you think of this version of Phantom? Do you think it is better than the original? What were your thoughts on the original, if you were familiar with it in years past? Were you one of the players that was hoping Phantom would get added, or were you as I don't know, apathetic about it as a lot of the people that I was interacting with and polling for what aliens do you want to see added into the Fantasy Flight Edition? And yeah, any other thoughts of seeing Phantom in action? Let's hear your stories. That's it for this one. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you again soon.